Hey, what's up, Alek? This is a quick demo video for you for your Graflex shop replica. This is installed with the Goth Master chassis. It's got a Proffie build. It's a 2-button setup. So your red button up here will be your power. Your little slide tab over here is going to be your auxiliary. All right. This is not spring loaded though. So just be aware of that. All right. So not spring loaded. You've got the glass eye here. So you've got some shine through on your glass eye. We'll talk about that here in a second because that comes into play. How to get to your chassis. The first thing you want to do is come over here and flip this switch up, or this clamp lever, right? Flip that up like that. It loosens the middle portion. And then you can take your handle and very carefully slide it counterclockwise until it stops. And then you want to carefully pull this out. And I say carefully because this handle is very tight around the chassis. All right, so just kind of wiggle it back and forth. Take your time with it. Do not force it. So you get that out of there, and then it will kind of slide out. But you still want to go back and forth with it. Hold on to the chassis when it gets exposed. Hang on to it, and then work it out. I don't know if it's because the chassis was printed in all SLS material. This is the first time that I've done one that like these main pieces weren't brass. So I noticed that they're SLS printed and they're also painted. So not knowing if you painted those before you sent them off to me or if you got them that way, but it built up some diameter volume here and it makes it very tight on this handle. I had to take some pliers and flare out these tabs a little bit, and it's still an extremely tight fit. All right, before I did that, it wouldn't even fit on there. So take your time putting it on. Take your time very much taking it off so you don't break it. But this is what your chassis looks like. All right, so you've got that double crystal there. You had asked for a 2 crystal setup, so I put a smaller but bigger round crystal over here next to your speaker, and then I put a smaller quartz crystal over here on the other side coming down and not quite touching each other but close enough. Okay, so that's what you've got right there. You've got a 28mm Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker. If you ever want to get to your board, you will have to take this middle piece off. So again, take this bubble strip and you can slide it out. We're going to do that carefully. We're going to do everything on this guy carefully because I put a lot of work into it. But we'll slide this off carefully. With this clamp still up, you can slide this also counterclockwise and just wiggle it back and forth until it comes off as well. All right, it's pretty tight on there. So when that comes off, that exposes the board, or the board cover right here. So you'd come over here, flip this up with your finger, open it just like that. That exposes your Proffie board back there. So you got your access to your SD card, your micro USB slot. You will need a straight data cable, a 90-degree data cable like I usually use. Won't do it on this guy. All right, so you'll need to do that. And then after you're done, just come over here and flip this closed, and it kind of clips closed like that. And we'll put the clamp back on. Now, we'll go over your glass eye, because originally this chassis could come out. Let me put this on real quick so I'm not doing two things at the same time. I'm going to line that up real quick. This glass eye is what's holding the chassis in place. So technically, if you were to unscrew this, you could pull the chassis out, but you do not want to do that because I had to wire in your power switch after I put the chassis in place. And it's on the chassis, right? So if you try to take this glass eye off and pull your chassis out, you're going to rip that power tactile switch. Do not do that. This chassis has to stay inside of the Saber, and this glass eye needs to stay on the Saber. All right, so don't take that out. We'll go ahead and we'll slide this bubble card back. Now for blade retention, I am using the screw that came with your kit right here. It is not long enough for a blade retention. What I would do is I would take that flathead button head screw right there, and I would take it out and I would replace it for one that was just a little bit longer so it's stuck in the blade socket, and you can use that for a blade retention. Because as it is right now, you don't really have a good blade retention system. All right, so that's usually what I tell people. Take that screw out right there, take it to your local hardware store or wherever, and get one that's a little bit longer and put it back, and then that way you can use that for a blade retention. All right, now you want to turn the saber on. You just come over here and you flip up this door right here. All right, so we flip this door up. You've got a kill key right there inside your recharge port. So we're going to pull that out. This is a turn kill key, but I find it easier just to pull it out.
You can call me Luke. I see, salute. Just Luke.
We'll just close that there. Now I've got your crystals doing a little something different each. It may be a little bit hard to tell on camera, but they each do a little something different. And they're on a timer, just like something I would normally do, but you would ask for me to do that anyway. So if you don't turn the saber on right away, they will time out. I'll show you that here in a second. We'll just sit here until they do. Just like that. All right, so all timed out until we come over here and we hit power. Saber is very loud. Auxiliary over here, just now you've got twist off, and it may be a little bit hard to see there. It's focused in there now. You've got the shadow foil props lit PCB connector in here. I just really like those, so I wanted to put it into this build. All right, so I'm going to very carefully come back over here and put my handle on. And remember how I explained that it's a tight fit, so take your time. Not be in a hurry. Get that lined up with your tabs. We'll slide that all the way on. Line up our grips how we want them. And then we'll clamp down. Once we clamp this lever down right here, it locks in your bubble strip, which you can tape in if you want. I just chose not to, but it locks that in. It also locks the handle in. And you've got twist off. You actually also asked me for twist on, so you've got that as well. Some nice shine through in your glass eye there. And of course, auxiliary over here, right? And we'll twist it off. So because you don't have a really good blade retention right now, I'm not going to swing this guy around too tough. I'm just going to put a blade in it, and we're going to go over some of the different fonts. But I'll show you that it does indeed light up a blade. We'll put the blade all the way in there. Turn off this light here. Hit power. So we got that good. To trade sound fonts, what you want to do is just tap the auxiliary when the saber's off.
I suggest you try it again, Luke. This time, let go your conscious self and act on instinct.
So you don't have to twist it on if you don't want. You can just hit power. And you can tap it again to turn it off. All right, go to another one.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. What is it? Father's lightsaber. This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
Every one of your fonts has a soundtrack. So to play that soundtrack, do a long press on the power button when the saber's off. Just like that, right? Do another long press to turn it off.
I suggest you try it again, Luke. This time, let go your conscious self and act on instinct.
I'm going to cycle through a few of these.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
So when you sent me your sound fonts. You said you wanted 10, or like you sent me 10 fonts. You gave me a list. I got confused because some of the fonts that you sent me have several fonts in them. For example, Father V2, right? I think there's like 4 fonts in here. You've got ESB, ANH, Rogue One, ROTJ. They're all on here. So I put them all on here because I thought that's what you wanted, giving you a total of 17 fonts instead of 10. All right.
Anakin. I've been looking forward to this.
Dooku.
General Kenobi.
Master Kenobi?
I am, and when you have your strength, I will help you on your way.
This is it, I believe. No, this is not it. Sorry. The Vader font.
Padawan Ahsoka.
This should be green as well, as per requested, right?
Count Dooku. What is it? Father's lightsaber. I suggest you try it again, Luke.
All right, kind of back to the beginning.
This time, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll take the blade out here. You will want to get a good blade retention. I know I said that a lot. I just kind of want to repeat myself. And we want to get back to our chassis so we can put our kill key back in. We'll flip that lever back up. Carefully wiggle off our handle. Remember, when it gets to about right here and exposes your crystal, don't be afraid to grab the chassis a little bit. That way you're not stressing it out when you're pulling on it. And then, you know, we've got this right here. So when we open up this door to expose our recharge port, and I turn this on, and I put this kill key in, it kills everything just like it should. All right, so that's basically your Graflex. Let me know if you have any questions, and if not, I will get this out in the mail to you first thing tomorrow. Thanks, man.